that have policy in their states and have hydro or nuclear power that are willing to support the Norway model. And those states specifically are Montana, North Dakota, Florida, and Texas, of course. And we're working in all of those jurisdictions. You just saw New York, technically ban Bitcoin mining today. Yeah. They did that vote. Now, it's not law yet. It's got to go through the Senate, but what a waste. They have excess power. They don't understand Bitcoin. It's a political knee-jerk reaction. But we had a project in New York, and we're just taking that capital and those jobs, and we're getting out of there. It's like everybody else will. Sometimes governments do bad things. They don't know what they're doing. It's sad to see that happen in technology because other states will compete with them, and they will lose all those jobs.
What does an ideal state look like for the success energy mining?
It has one of two attributes. It's got renewable source, which would either be wind, solar, which is intermittent. Wind and solar is intermittent. Right. So it's good for Bitcoin mining, but not good for data centers. Data centers have to be up 24 hours a day. And the other attribute they would have is pro-business policy. But there is one unique attribute, unique almost in the world, or gas in it. The last barrel of oil that comes out of a spent fracking field is gas. It's not oil. So the ratio of gas keeps going up. You have to flare it. Well, why waste that energy? If you had a way to flare it, create electricity, but take the carbon, extract it, and pump it underground, which they can do. They're the most advanced state in the union doing this. They've advanced carbon sequestration so far ahead of everybody else. I went to meet there with leadership, the governor and the senator together, and I brought the whole team, including the guys from Norway, with me. We spent a couple of days there, and I'm 100% committed to North Dakota. I mean, that place is going to change the perception of hydrocarbons.
I think that really stands out to me with this kind of things is it brings empowerment to areas that have been sort of forgotten or where there hasn't been that much development. And now with Bitcoin mining and other technologies like this, there's a resurgence in these places. Is that something that matters, or is it just where the ideal scenario is?
No, it does matter, but it takes leadership. It takes leadership at the state level. It takes vision and leadership and encouragement of policy, and you can see the difference between those advanced pro-business states. It's not just around political, partisanship. It's about individual governors and senators who ran businesses once that actually understand payroll. They took on equity positions in semiconductor manufacturing. So when BitZero goes to a place like North Dakota, not only can they bring capital, unlimited capital, they have unlimited semiconductors. So they're able to build. We got the machines, the stacks for Norway, not in 2 years. We got it in 14 days. So we're able to do that now. And so I'm very much around this initiative, and I want to support other companies that are doing the same thing. But right now, the most advanced that I can find is BitZero. There's nobody else that they've proven the model in Norway. It's there and it's running and it's working with the community. So we're able to take the Norwegian team and bring them to any state and say, here's how it works. Here's the footprint of how this works. And that's very, very motivating to see something that's already been proven.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the listeners, the backlogs on miners are ridiculous. So the fact that they got it in 14 days is very, very, very impactful.
It's unprecedented.
That's impressive. I'd like to take a step back and ask you, what brought you into the cryptocurrency blockchain space? What about it captured your imagination when you first saw it? And what was the story of what made you see it in the first place?
It's a use case. Let me walk you through my thinking on it. When you're an indexer, you're constantly creating indices in multiple markets. So let's take Europe. So we have an index that is 50 European stocks that is very popular. And so what we try and do is find the best balance sheets. And Europe is basically made. I have to take the $100 million US, allocate it into 3 different currencies, go through an FX exchange where I get clipped basis points, no value whatsoever, zero value, buy the stocks on the native exchanges, manage their positions. Usually a mandate like that is no more than 5% in any one stock. So if it doubles in price, you got to sell half of it. Go back from that, Swiss franc back into US dollars, get clipped again, no value whatsoever. I mean, it is such a waste of capital for everybody. It's useless friction. Now think ahead to crypto. Let's just talk about payment systems. Let's just talk USDC, just one. There's many opportunities to do stablecoins, but if we could get agreement amongst regulators, let's say the Toomey bill, which I'm proud to be involved with, and the Haggerty bill, same thing, just focus on stablecoins, just one thing, because the largest market on earth is currency trading.
Yeah.
It's trillions of dollars, and it's incredibly inefficient. So their proposal is very simple. Okay, let's audit these stablecoins every 30 days, agree to an audit, and also agree that any asset that's backing the coin is no more than 12 months in duration. Very simple mandate. I get it. Everybody gets it. Now, the risk here is if one coin agrees to under that mandate and gets licensed, the others, it's going to be one of these situations. I won't mention any names, but the king may not have any clothes.
Right.
The policy on crypto, it will open the floodgates to capital from pension and sovereign, which we don't have. People talk about Bitcoin, 800 billion. That's nothing. That's nothing in financial services. It's not even a pimple. It's nothing. Nobody owns it. I mean, yes, there's some high net worth individuals, some hedge funds, and a few retail investors, but Bitcoin is a nothing burger in financial services. However, the potential would be that we do provide regulation, and all of a sudden, in a sovereign fund where they might put 1% allocation, but that sovereign fund is $100 billion. That's a small sovereign fund. So I'm investing ahead of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making the assumption that if I'm buying in, 35 to 40,000, that I'll see this at 150, 250,000 one day when it gets allocated and indexed. Because if an indexer says I'm putting 1% allocation, if the coin drops 20%, which is very volatile, they buy back up to 1%.
Yeah.
So you have a bid. They're the bid. They're the market all the time. 24/7, they're the market. We don't have that right now. So the conference like this is very important to note who makes up the population of attendees. And here I can point to institutions that I indexed for that are walking around with baseball bats on or hats on because they don't want to be seen, but they're here to learn, and government officials from multiple countries.
Mm-hmm.
So this tells you the tone is towards policy. Say to them, look, this is not a life for all of you, but it's a life for a third of you, because that's what the stats say. A third of them are start companies. And you're not doing it for the greed of money. You're doing it for the pursuit of personal freedom, because when you are successful, you get to spend your hours, your awake hours, doing things that you want to do. And I'm at that place, and I've been at that place for a long time now. So I enjoy what I do. I'm here because I want to be here, and I can afford to be here. And so I don't need more money. I obviously want to keep what I've got, but I'm really interested in the stuff I'm working on. I want to be at the cutting edge of the 11th sector, turning to the 12th sector of the S&P. I mean, this is a big passion for me now. And I'm dealing with governments all around the world. I recently became an Emirati so that I could work in the UAE on financial services and be able to license exchanges there. Mm-hmm. So I love this stuff. I mean, this is just, what else am I going to be doing?